Welcome to Hard to Kill 2022 review. Oh, this is a very interesting situation we have here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many people are going to actually do the Hard to Kill review. I don't think I'll be the only one. I'll be shocked if I am the only one because of how relevant this is and how stupid it is at the same time. I'm saying it again. How relevant it is and how stupid it is. Yes, I said it because of what it really means. Now let's go through everything, and if I don't forget what I really want to say because it got me kind of pissed, but then I didn't get pissed because it makes a lot of sense what's going on because of the landscape of WWE, because this is about WWE, guys. If you don't think it is, I want to make this clear before I get started. If you freaking think that there's a damn forbidden door and people from Impact will show up on WWE TV, two things will happen. If it did happen, that means the WWE is finished. This won't save them. This will end them. And two, this will give Impact zero. Say it again. Zero. And I'll explain why. Now, kickoff show, we had 2 matches. But before we get started, I found out by one of the subscribers after the show started, because as I was waiting for them through the video packages, because I usually check my YouTube channel as I watch the video packages, one of my subscribers said that Todd Phillips, former Todd Phillips, who is now known, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Tom Finhelm, could be pronouncing it wrong and I wouldn't be surprised, who used to be on NXT, went to SmackDown, went to NXT again, and then was fired, is now replacing a Matt Striker. Now, I don't know if he could get anything done anymore. I don't know if that subscriber was correct about what Impact said, that he couldn't get the job done. I'm not going to say yes or no. Maybe Tom needed to replace Matt Striker because Matt, remember, last year actually did some commentating for hockey. You never know that he reached a point after doing wrestling for so long that once he got the hockey bug, maybe he said to them, look, I'm not feeling enthusiastic. I want to go off to do hockey. So they contacted Tom. That could be the real thing. If his performance dropped, that could be because he wanted to do hockey commentating now. You never know. But he's not there, and Tom is. Now, throughout the show, was it good? Yeah, he sounded highly enthusiastic. He enjoyed it. And I'm sure he enjoyed it because he used to love doing NXT as well as SmackDown. Now, mind you, he was not perfect on SmackDown, and he wasn't perfect on NXT. And one of my subscribers, the one that made the comment, said that now they're going to have recognition. No. Just because he was on SmackDown and NXT does not 100% mean he'll have recognition. Mauro Ranallo, who used to be a boxing commentator in MMA, well, he did MMA. He had recognition. He could move the needle. Tom, no. But does not mean he won't do a great job and that we won't like it. I didn't mind him talking with D'Lo Brown. It was good throughout the entire night. And you could hear him enjoying and having fun, laughing and everything. Now, there are 2 matches we had. One match that made no sense, but they wanted to show it on the kickoff show. And that is Madman Fulton and Jake something. I'm about to say Jack. That is something we could have seen on the main roster and in the main show a long time ago. And I think they actually did it at one point. But there was no feud behind it. And there was no Ace Austin there due to the fact he was going to be in the match that was later, the second match. So there was no Ace. So was it bad? No. Was it great? It was okay. In the end, Jake wins. But I don't know what does that mean for Madman Fulton, because Madman Fulton never gets anything because he's just muscle for an Ace Austin. Now, we had a 4-way match with Ace, Laredo Kid, Chris Bay, and the debuting what is the guy's name? Fastball. I can't remember his last name. I think his name was Mike, and I can't remember his last name. He supposedly is a staple in Canada. He's been wanting to come to America for 5 years and has not been able to do it. He's in my face. He looked good during the match. And if I can, I'm going to go and check it again because it is on, at least at this moment, it is on Impact TV. YouTube. So I may just check it again because there was a lot going on and I was getting ready for the main show. It was Fastball who won. And there's no problem with that. You're bringing in someone that has a huge amount of hype supposedly behind him, and he's getting the chance to win a undercard match. Nothing wrong with that. We don't know who he is. Just being told that he's been wanting to come to America for 5 straight years and is that good, he's got to start from somewhere, so this is what you get. Now, the Knockouts Ultimate X match. You got Jordynne Grace, Chelsea Green, you got my Killer Frost, the Lady Frost, my woman that used to be on NWA that I would have wanted more than Natalya. But she's now on Impact, and that's my woman. The Alicia, because unfortunately Rachel got hurt and she couldn't do it, as well as Rosemary and the Tasha Steelz. Let me say something to one person. Big Swole. Hey, baby. How you doing, Big Swole? How you doing, baby? What did I just witness? AEW is no different from any other company. Ain't that right? Now, mind you, many people would say she got exactly what she wanted, which she did. She got some press because she ain't that good. She's too damn green, and she got too many issues. But she wanted some press, and she got it. Saying constantly, like, I want to say this to every person who watches this. I don't even care if the Slug Daddy watches this, or JD, or just Alex. I don't give a fuck. You actually think there's constant, all the time, racism in wrestling. Now, mind you, I want to say this clearly. It hasn't gone away. But instead of it being like this, where it is this big, it's going down here. There's a difference between how it was when Ron Simmons won the title in the 90s from WCW to now here. Okay? So, quit that shit. Now, mind you, if there's real racism, it's proven, I'm right behind you. But if there's no damn proof, and you constantly keep saying there's total racism everywhere, fuck you. There is no racism as much as you say it is. Because it ain't here, 100%, it here. Maybe under 50, easily. There's still racism, but there ain't no heavy racism. Look at what just happened. You could have had Jordynne Grace win the damn Ultimate X. You could have easily had Rosemary do it. You could have Chelsea Green, which would have made the best sense because she can get herself a Knockouts title match again. The one that you know for a fact should never get is Alicia because they don't push her. But who did they give it to? They gave it to Tasha, who did a damn good job at it. And the interview after that, she made it very clear that she's got it done. And don't think because she's Puerto Rican that she ain't black. Her skin's deeper color than me. That means she got some black in her blood. So, being half black myself, mixed black actually, where the fuck do you get that bit about there being no fairness to black people? It ain't here. 100%. It here. It's still there. Let's move on. Now, we got a match that made no damn sense unless there is a situation afterward that will be done in the next week or two. That's Maclin, Steve Maclin versus Trey Miguel for the X Division title. Now, this is where it had to come down to, guys. It was a damn good match. Maclin, and it was rough, that match. At one point, Maclin basically speared him while he was already in the ropes and he was hanging his ass out. And I believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face. You can see it. I know there's a little bit of artifacts from my desktop. I'm sorry. I try to get it clean. Sometimes it gives it to me. Sometimes it's not. So if you see some more images that have a little bit of blue in the back, that's my desktop. But in the end, you could see how rough they were going. They were trying to make this mean something. But here's the problem. Maclin didn't win, guys. He didn't win. 0 win. When he should have had a win, he got 0 wins. Particularly what happened with Jonah. But I will get to that in a few minutes. Here made no damn sense unless we get this. And I'm saying this right now. This is a prediction. If they don't do the prediction, there was no point in putting Maclin in this type of situation in the first place. This is a prediction. Maclin now loses. He's been told by Gail Kim, you will not get another shot as long as Trey is champ. So you know what's going to happen? Either, and this is the main thing, either he beats down Trey to the point where he has to relinquish the title, or he costs Trey the title. That's the only way you're going to get it. He does something to make Trey lose the title. That's it. So either he costs him the title because he beats him to the point where he becomes injured, or he costs him the title when he has a title match and lets someone else get it so he can try and get it. Because that's the only way that this makes any sense. So we will find out in the next couple of weeks, in the next tapings, what are we going to get with Steve Maclin. Let's move on. Now, we get the ROH title. This is interesting. We get a title match from ROH. Gason, I believe, Gason. That is Jordynne Grace's actual husband. They're married. Oh, yeah, they're married. And he is the Octopus. He currently holds the ROH main title. Then you got Chris Sabin, who used to be part of ROH, and at one point was supposed to get a rematch, but never got it. It was supposed to be 3 years in the making. So that made this interesting. It did. Now, they went by ROH rules, which meant no punching in the face. If you do punch, you get a warning. If you do not, do it again. That's what you get. If you do, you're disqualified. The title can change hands by count out. You get a 20 count. I believe that was a 20 count for the count out. There is 3 ring. Let me give it like this. This was very interesting. Next to a 20-second count, you also get only 6 times you can grab at the ring ropes to break up. And that's 3 for each guy or each girl. Once those 6 are done, you cannot use the ropes to save your ass. Unlike like WWE and Impact Wrestling or NWA or MLW, this is the only chance you get. 3 shots each time. That's 6. After that, when you hold the rope near the count of 3, it don't save you. Just like the count outside, don't save you. Now, was this a good match? It was a very good match. Very physical. And supposedly Sabin trained, well, not trained, but really worked with him, Gason. At one point when they weren't always together. He brought him into a group and he tried to promote and build him up to make him into something. Now he's an always champion. In the end, Gason won. And I do not see Gason jobbing to anyone until ROH returns. I'll be surprised if he does. He's going to go to every promotion. I don't know if he's going to go to AEW. I do believe he'll go to NWA and MLW. Maybe he'll even go to GCW. Maybe New Japan. He is on New Japan Strong, so New Japan Pro Wrestling is allowing him to hold on to the title there. I doubt he'll go to AEW, but you never know. And it was a good match. There was no way it wasn't good. It was a well done match. Now, let's move on to the match that sucked. Seriously. Not because of the match quality. Now, I want to make this clear. The match quality on all these matches were very good, to damn good, to great. But the story, some of them were not good. So, You got Josh Alexander versus Jonah, where both guys needed to win. Here's an example, guys. If Let me give it to you like this. One of my subscribers keeps saying that Josh Alexander is going to turn heel. Well, if he was going to turn heel, he should have lost the damn match and let Jonah win. So, it makes no damn sense now that he turns heel. As I said several episodes ago on Impact, he has to lose to Jonah. He has to turn. He has to lose his matches to turn on Scott D'Amore and then turn heel. Do you get that here? No. So you ain't getting it. Even if I wanted, I ain't getting it. But here with Jonah, it made no damn sense for Jonah to job here. This is Jonah's first pay-per-view. And to be honest, he should not have been jobbing. This was a great match. I enjoyed it. Other than that moonsault that he did at the very end of the match, which I know he had to do it on purpose so he would miss Josh. But that looked so bad. He could have been a little bit more cleaner on it because Josh was here. He landed he went right outside the screen. That's how far away he went. He didn't do it enough to make it look like it was going to really hit. So it was sloppy. I didn't agree with it. But I can understand he wanted to make sure he didn't hurt Josh. But when it comes down to it, guys, no matter if you like the match, which I did, Jonah should not have jobbed. He shouldn't have. Honestly, if you wanted Jonah to turn heel, no, you wanted Josh, I'm getting Jay's mixed up. If you want Josh to turn heel, he had to lose here. If you want Jonah to mean something and not become a jobber, here, he should have won the damn match. You should have. Or better yet, it should have never been between these two right now. It should have been later. They could have done this by rebellion. You could have had them continually fight one another until Josh could get his chance back at Moose or whoever. Of course, we know Moose won, but whoever was holding the world title. I'm just saying. Now, let's move on. We got the Hardcore War match, which basically was a War Games match. The only thing is, there was no steel cage and two rings. It was just one ring and no steel cage. They still even had, they took down the scaffold for the X Division match. So, other than that, they could have done a steel cage that would pretty much equal War Games, but it was not about that. But they had practically almost the same rules. Instead of 5 minutes in the War Games, it's 3 minutes, and every 90 seconds someone comes in until everyone got in, and then it was a pinfall and submission. It was a pretty brutal match. At one point near the end, you got Rich and Willie brings in a plank of plywood with barbed wire. Now, I believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face. I'm not doing a whole bunch of shots in here, guys, at least not until later. But you see that at one point, and I do have another shot of it, and you can see him stuck in the damn barbed wire. He landed bad in that barbed wire, and he was screaming. He couldn't get out. He was stuck. I think someone had to free him, because once he got nailed into that barbed wire and it broke the plywood, he couldn't get out. He was stuck. I think he was legitimately stuck in there. He could not move. That's how bad it was. But in the end, the person who got the pin, and I can't remember, it was Carl Luke, was Heath. Heath got the pin. Good. Heath getting a signature moment at a pay-per-view. When do we usually see Heath get something directly? Usually it was Rhino or someone else. Heath getting it, that was nice. But then once they won the match, you got a whole bunch of people coming in. You see I thought OGK was signed to NWA. Guess what? I don't think they are. They could be. But there's a possibility they were just doing exactly what Killer Frost was doing, just tapings. Because as I told you guys, when ROH was going to end, when ROH ended, as I said in my report, there was a good possibility they would just do tapings and just come in, get paid, do a couple of tapings, and then oust themselves. So you get OGK, you get it's been a while since I actually seen Maria Kanellis Bennett. I believe I got a shot of her. She's in my face. And then you see a couple of other people. I think the guy's name is BOC. Was it? Yeah, BOC. I don't know who he is. And then another guy named Vincent. I believe that's his name, Vincent. He comes in, nails the Good Brothers, Rich and Willie. I believe one of them nailed Rhino as well as Heath. I didn't see Violence by Design get nailed, but I don't know if they got nailed. They could have been. I don't know. Pretty much, those guys got nailed. They're standing in the ring. They're in my face. So, I'm sure everyone's saying, oh, wow, they're here. I can't wait for it. Are they under contract? Are we going to have the same damn situation we had with several people beforehand that they gave them a lot of spotlight and they're not signed and then they go? No contracts? Just tapings? Now, mind you, as I've said before, having people not contract at the tapings to help the X Division, to help the main title picture, to help the Knockouts title picture, or the Knockouts is great. No problem. Bring them in as jobbers or give them a chance to prove themselves and see if they're worth having a contract. But knowing full well how Impact Wrestling is, and they don't sign their people, and when they ever do a proper storyline and booking, and they don't sign them, what do you get? I'm just saying, and I'm not saying they're not contracted, and not saying that they couldn't be contracted eventually, and I'm not saying that OGK isn't still working with NWA, or maybe they're even contracted to them, and they're doing some cross promotion. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying, are they contracted or not? And will they stick around? Give your thoughts below without saying this is going to be great. This is going to be wonderful. We're getting a Forbidden Door. Bullshit. Forbidden Door only works when eventually someone is signed. Okay? Now, we get the men's world title match. Moose, Morrissey, and Matt Cardona. We also get Chelsea Green thrown in at one point, basically jumping off of the stage trying to nail a Moose to help her man. Now, how did I feel about this? I thought this. Morrissey didn't need to be in the match. He didn't. I heard one of my subscribers, Morrissey's in there to take the pin. Well, guess what? You were wrong. Because Matt Cardona ate the pin. Yes, he did. At one point, I will say that I got a little nervous for Moose because once he was about to do a moonsault to try and catch Matt. No, was it Matt or was it... yeah, it was Matt. And he gets shoved off the top turnbuckle, partially crashes into a table. He slides off the table, he breaks it, and then smashes onto the ground hard near the guardrail. I was actually worried because the way they showed it, he hit it, it broke, but then he hit hard. He didn't hit it center and it cracked. And it bowed to take the kinetic energy that he had. No, it partially broke. He slid off and then hit the concrete hard. I'm hoping he's all right. I'm really hoping he's okay. He managed to finish the match and he managed to retain the title. No problem. I felt that it was either going to be Matt Cardona or it was going to be Moose. I did not expect W. Morrissey to win. I knew he wasn't going to win. But he did get a good amount of praise from the fans. They were into him. Yes, he still played into his heel role. But they did start getting some strong feeling. He started getting pops at one point, showing how hard he was working. And that's something he does deserve. Look, when he was Big Cass with Enzo, he didn't get as much praise as he deserved because it was really about Enzo helping him to get over, not by himself directly. Here, he got a lot more praise, and even in a small group of people, than he would normally have from WWE. Now, mind you, not everyone's going to agree with me that, but at least you can see that he can get people to cheer him. Not just boo him, but also cheer him. So he can do something in the ring that makes people interested. Oh, at one point, I almost forgot, it's written right here. Someone threw a fake leg into the damn match, and I believe it was Matt Cardona using it on either a Morrissey or a Moose. I can't remember who. But someone's leg was used, or someone's performance prosthetic was used. I don't know. I'm just saying. Finally, the final match of the night. No contract. That's where this has to be. Deonna Purrazzo versus a Mickie James. Now, I know what is going on with Mickie James going to the Royal Rumble, and I even said it into one. Let me crank this back. Before this show happened, and I have to admit, I've not been myself lately. Actually, I've not been myself. I'm all right, but I noticed and I'm working through it. But one of my subscribers said clearly that Mickie James is going to Impact over to WWE. The Forbidden Door has been opened. We're going to get Moose over there. Bullshit. This is a one-off. And understand, there's going to be some type of situation. But here's the thing that you guys don't know. That you don't know. The Forbidden Door is not open. You know why? The Forbidden Door would only work if Mickie James was signed to Impact Wrestling. Guess what? She's signed to NWA as an executive. She's still pretty much signed as far as I can tell. She's still working with her husband, Nick Aldis, in NWA. There is no signing. If you go to the Wikipedia, she is not signed to Impact Wrestling. Guess what? She's not working for them as one of their own stars. She's come in, doing some tapings, as I've said, and they decided, because they know her so well, they trust her, they let her have the title so Deonna Purrazzo could get it back around this time. But that was before Impact Wrestling gained an incredible opportunity in their mind. They believe they got incredible opportunity right now. They believe, and you know what? Stop. Let me get to the match. This is a Texas Death Match. I am going to get to it and I'm going to rant. This is a Texas Death Match. Here's the rules. Anything goes. No DQ, no disqualification, nothing. Fine. But instead of it just being a 10 count, you have to pin your opponent first. Then after that, they have to wait 10 seconds laid out before they can win the match. So this is what this is all about. Now, at first, it felt a little botchy, particularly when Mickie James was trying to get out of the ring, try to kick Deonna Purrazzo, who was trying to get one of the tables out, and she got herself all tangled up in the ring ropes and looked like she was flailing around like she was a wet noodle, like this. She was trying to get out of the ring ropes, trying to nail Deonna, and she was botchy. But as the show went on, as the match went on, as it became more and more and more violent, she compensated for that. At one point, both Deonna and Mickie James started to bleed. Here's Mickie James, and I believe I got Deanna's picture of bleeding as well. One, then after the other. Eventually, spikes were thrown, well, not spikes, but thumbtacks. I feel like probably spikes. But thumbtacks was included, and once Mickie James was thrown into those thumbtacks, the screaming that woman did, woof, damn. She was screaming like a Ric Flair, baby. See, like, you gotta understand about how you know the person that is in the ring is not only a total professional, but a legend. You can say a lot about Ricky, who actually is back on Car Shield, because I saw an advertisement for Car Shield, and he's back on TV. So they said, you know what, after all this trouble, we let it cool off, we're putting you back on again. Ric Flair was the greatest seller because he screamed his ass off in the right way to make you realize that you're worried about him, or you can't stand him and you're glad to see the pain on his face. Mickie is not at the caliber of Ric Flair, but she's not bad at all. She knows how to scream. So Deonna Purrazzo barely even yelled. She needs work on selling. But was the match bad? No. Both of them did a great job. I did enjoy the match. Now, at the very end, when it was going to be the Mick DDT, unfortunately, Deonna couldn't really do it the way she wanted, because if you saw, I believe I got a shot of it. If you look at her feet, I don't think I got it, but if you look at Deonna Purrazzo's feet, it is totally covered in thumbtacks. And she probably could not get a grip, particularly when she tried to powerbomb and Mickie James, and the thumbtacks are already on her feet, she literally slipped off one of the ropes, and they splatted onto one of the table that was in there. That's how it was. It was sloppy due to the fact it's very hard to get a grip if your feet had thumbtacks stuck in it. But in the end, Mickie James won. Now, let me tell you this. Was this a bad pay-per-view? Hell no, it wasn't. This was a damn good pay-per-view. It was. What was the weakest match? Probably Violence by Design and the Good Brothers versus Rich, Willie, Eddie, and the Rhino and Heath. That might have been the weakest match. Not because of the match quality, but due to the fact it was so heavily over. There's a lot of people who did a lot of. Look, we had a Texas Death Match. We had this match. Then we had the Triple Threat. We had a lot of people together, and that takes away from it. So, there you go. Now, of course, I don't agree with Jonah. He should have won. He should have won. Unless they are going to try and do something with Jonah, but I don't think Jonah should have lost here. When it came to Maclin, he better destroy or cost Trey his title. He better destroy Trey, that he has to relinquish it because he's hurt, or if he is costed the title because of Maclin. And then he can go after the title now. That better happen. But when you see the match quality, not the story, all the match quality of all the matches were good. When it comes to the kickoff, you can say when it comes to Jake Something and the Madman Fulton, it wasn't worth seeing it. You could have seen it on Impact TV. I'm just saying. Now, here's my feelings on the situation with Mickie James. I gotta do it. Look, I saw JD getting angry. Flat out angry because of all that Mickie James went through. I saw just Alex and his thoughts. Now, let me kind of break it down between those two and then my own thoughts. When it comes to just Alex, he said it clearly and he's correct. Mickie James is not contracted to Impact Wrestling. As I said, she's not. She's contracted to NWA as an executive, but they allow her to do freelance, so she can do whatever she wants. She wants to go and help WWE. She's going to get a good-ass payout for a one-off. There you go. Fine. So, just Alex understands it. JD, on the other hand, was pissed off as fucking hell. Because after all that drama, which I myself did a Gump report, even just Alex talked about it, saying it's so wrong. But just Alex doesn't say anything about the trash bag. JD, literally in its opening monologue, pulls out a white trash bag, talks about it. For him, he feels offended that we went all in the back of this woman, believing in this woman, and she convincing NWA to put on Empower, which actually did a damn great job. Now, agrees to go back to WWE for a one-off, knowing full well that the women's division is bullshit for SmackDown, Raw, and even NXT looks like crap. And she's willing to go back there for a payday after what they did to her and got a guy fired who's just doing his job that Vince McMahon or Bruce or whoever else mandated that situation that when you're fired from WWE or release, if you have any of your stuff, they just send it back, and if it's got to go into a trash bag, so damn be it. That is why he's mad. Just Alex is not mad. He's saying good for her, let her get her payoff. So this is what I think. At first, I was pissed. I'm not going to lie. I was pissed off hearing that after everything that we heard she went through, and after what's been going on with WWE over almost a 2-year period, they released more than what? Maybe about 200 or more people. And in some cases, brought them up to the main roster, did nothing with them and just threw them away. Look at Toni Storm. Toni literally quit. They didn't check to see if she was all right. Didn't try to find out why she left. They just released her ass willy-nilly. They didn't give a fuck what happened with her. The only thing they cared about was, oh, she wanted to quit? Fine, she's gone. They've done this with so many people. Look at Keith Lee. The guy almost freaking died. And I heard what some people were saying about when it came to Booker T, saying that he just didn't understand that when you're in a situation like this in WWE, you get no time off. You know, it's not easy. The guy almost freaking died of COVID complications, and the Booker T saying, "Well, I didn't check into it," when he should have and got heat for it, shows how people from the WWE, even if they're just loosely affiliated, like him being on a damn panel, shows how cold and callous they have become. Because understand, wrestling is not a loving sport as we know it. There are people that are going to backstab you, they're going to use you, they're going to abuse you, but I'm not saying it's 100% cruel to everyone. There is a balance. Some places have more kindness than others, but they usually will try to find a somewhat near middle medium because they want to look good for the fans. You look at WWE in the last 2 years since COVID-19 happened. They have not been kind. They haven't. They laid off a huge amount of people in 2020. They laid off even more people in 2021. And they laid off even more people now in 2022, along with William Regal, where everyone is in shock that they will release a guy who's been in the business 40 freaking years. So what do I feel about this with Mickie James? Simple. She's not contractually obligated to Impact Wrestling. She's not. If something goes wrong on WWE TV and she hands over the title to the WWE, that's on Impact Wrestling. I'm saying this right now. I'm not saying that she's going to fuck Impact. But if she did that, walked in literally with the damn title on her waist, walks up to Vince McMahon with a mic in her hand and says, "Vince, you want something really cool? Here's a title for you." Impact can't say shit because they agreed to allow her, who's not even contractually obligated to them. Remember, we're still talking about Mickie James, who is contractually obligated to NWA, which is allowing her to freelance anytime she wants. She is holding the Impact title, which at any time she can fuck Impact Wrestling. You guys don't want to hear that, do you? You don't want to hear that Mickie James could fuck Impact Wrestling. I'm not saying she will. I'm repeating this. I'm not saying she'll fuck them. She's always been known to be a classy woman, to do the right thing. So she's not going to fuck them. But if she wanted to, she could. So don't tell me down below that won't happen. She can, because she's not hired by them. They just know her. They did a handshake, and they let her have the damn title over Deonna Purrazzo, over a Tasha Steelz, over a Rosemary, over a Havoc, over anyone else she wanted. But they chose Mickie James. Wisely, because she did a lot of work with Empower. Now, what does this mean for Impact Wrestling? Because this is what this all comes down to. What does this mean for Impact? Well, here it is. Everyone is excited, thinking that Impact is open the forbidden door because they're allowing, because remember, Impact didn't go to WWE. Some representative, possibly Kevin Dunn, possibly Bruce Pritchard, maybe even Vince himself, called the people at Impact to say, "Hey, we want Mickie James to join us at the Royal Rumble. We know she's your current champion. Can she come?" Impact was going, yes. That's the reason why she won. Guys, Deonna Purrazzo should have won. Let's be honest here. It would have been making sense that Deonna won here, but she didn't. That was due to the fact of the Royal Rumble. The publicity right now is blown up Twitter and everywhere else right now that WWE, who has only done this once before with ECW back in the late 90s. I'm going to repeat this again. ECW. Only ECW. Only. Not WCW. They bought out WCW, so it didn't make a difference after that. They owned it, so they can bring anybody they wanted over there. This is about ECW before getting bought out by WWE, because ECW was bought out by WWE eventually because Paul Heyman owned it. But this is Impact Wrestling, where they're not owned by WWE. And since the 90s, they have not worked with not one other promotion. Nearly 30 or more years have they ever done this, to go to another promotion and say, hey, you want something? We're going to work with you. So I understand why they're doing it. Why not do it? But here's the thing. That many people are, if they see this, they're going to say, oh, this is a great opportunity for Impact Wrestling. Really? We just had a program with AEW. With Kenny Omega. Understand how many people came over from AEW. Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, Private Party. We also had the Christopher Daniels, who was there for one off. We also had Kazarian, who was over there. We also had Christian Cage, who was over there. We had all those people. All of them came over. And Kenny Omega majority came over, not counting the Good Brothers, because they were from Impact and they were working both sides. You can't count them. So we had Kenny for months and months. And guess what? The fucking ratings never changed. The ratings never changed. We gained nothing. We had, yes, the AEW champion. But we gained zero. Now, I also forgot the Young Bucks. They also went there too. But they gained zero. And in fact, in the last couple of weeks to a month, excuse me, their ratings jumped. Not from here. Went down. They normally make, 100 to 150 to maybe, if they're lucky, 200,000 people watching. Weeks ago, they went down to 87,000. Even JD mentioned it. So it wasn't that he didn't know. Once he heard what was going on with Mickie James, he went and checked the analytics, went to check the ratings for television. They were in the 80s, guys. 87 to 90,000. So don't tell me Impact has gained a lot from these incredible moments of the Forbidden Door. They gained nothing. Even AEW didn't gain anything. They gained nothing out of this. We never put any of our people, other than Moose or Father Mitchell. We had Father Mitchell once on the TV of AEW. We also had Moose once as a championship match. That was it. No Sami Callihan. We had no Rosemary. We didn't have no Havoc. We had no Morrissey over there. We had only Moose once. We had no Eddie Edwards over there. We had none of our people over there. Zero. And many people from AEW was getting kind of angry about that. Because if we're working with Impact Wrestling, shouldn't we do a little bit of both? We didn't. Whether AEW said no or Impact said no, they kept themselves separate. And it gained nothing. So now, we got this. We're getting Impact Wrestling's possible. And understand this. This is what could happen. No matter what you say here. I don't care what the hell you say. And as much as I respect everyone, I'm going to say this right now. And I don't care if anyone hears this from anywhere else. Because this could still happen. If you don't like and you say this won't happen, kiss my black ass. And it's black. This is what could happen. Impact allows a Mickie James, who now has won, to go to the Royal Rumble. Whether she is 1st, 10th, 20th, or 30th. She comes in. Does this mean she'll be walking out with the title around her waist to show everyone that she's an Impact champion? Would I believe? No. She'll just walk out there. Now, mind you, she could. They may actually let her walk out with her title around her waist, on her shoulder, and best case scenario, let's make it like this, best and worst case. Best case scenario, Mickie James comes out maybe 12 or 15 or 10 with the Knockouts title on her shoulder, and the announcers of Cole and McAfee and Corey Graves, because those three are the best ones they got. They see her come out, and they say, uh-oh, here we go. Mickie James, the current Impact Knockouts Women's Champion. Instead of just saying Impact Knockouts champion. They'll say probably the Impact Knockouts women's champion. She will walk out literally with the title around her waist. She'll walk down to the ring or run, put the title down, get into the ring. She'll last whatever amount she will. They will throw her out. And then that will be the end of her Royal Rumble moment. That will be the best case scenario, that they acknowledge Impact and they let her walk out with the damn title literally on her shoulder or around her waist as she comes to the ring. That will be the best case scenario for Impact Wrestling. You know what could be? Which I probably believe will be? They will say, here comes Mickie James, a current champion on the Indies, on another promotion. No title, and they'll just say, here comes Mickie James, a current champion of another promotion. That's it. Where's the fucking publicity for Impact Wrestling other than Twitter? And Scott D'Amore saying that the Forbidden Door has been opened because of us. Motherfucker, that's bullshit. Bullshit. You begged AEW for help. And whether your owners of you Anthem said, well, you can't do cross promotion, or AEW or their owners, which is Tony Khan said, well, we'll bring our people over, but your people cannot come over. You gain nothing from that. So now you're going to be doing this, which could end one of two ways. Either you will be acknowledged on WWE TV as Impact Wrestling and your current Knockouts champion, or they'll say Knockouts Women's Champion, Mickie James, is coming to the ring. You'll give her maybe about 2 minutes or 5 or maybe 10 if she's lucky. And then she's done and it's over. Or you guys will get exactly like I said. Mickie James, a current champion, a current women's champion, or a current champion of another promotion. That will be the maximum you'll get. And there will be no other women from Impact that'll show up. That's what you're going to get. So tell me, you feel proud of yourselves making all these statements of the Forbidden Door bullshit? Because there's a very strong possibility that will happen. The latter will happen. No Impact stars will show up on WWE TV. You will get Mickie James coming out with no title around her waist, being stated that she's a current champion of another promotion, or just a current champion from somewhere else right now in the world. She'll stay maybe 2 minutes. They may just throw her out within 2 minutes and laugh at her because of it, and that will be it. Yeah, she'll get her payday, but then it looks bad on Impact. Now, mind you, you could get the latter. They may actually say that she's an Impact champion. They will actually promote Impact Wrestling briefly, because they're not going to do it heavily. She'll stay in there for maybe 5, maybe lucky 10 minutes, and Impact will get a moment they have never gotten before. They will get a moment to be recognized by the largest, crappiest promotion. Let's be honest, it's the largest promotion. No matter how we play it, it's still considered the largest promotion in the world, and they finally get recognition from them. And they should, because most of their people from who originally started in TNA and Impact are working in WWE right now. So this is what you get. And I hope you enjoyed this Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. I will be doing my Battle of the Belts tomorrow. I don't know when I'll upload it, but I will watch it, I will review it, and I will show it to you. Peace.